I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh my God. I don't want.
She should have just talked to him. Okay, well, you don't know how many times before this that she did talk to him and said, I want you to leave me alone. I don't like you. I'm not attracted to you. Whatever's in your head is all in your head. You're all alone in that imaginary affair relationship of yours all by yourself. It doesn't exist to me at all. I don't like you. I'm repulsed by you. You disgust me, partly because you act like this right here. So this is Cynthia Ortiz. These are the Charles Perry, David Roberson, stalking, human trafficking, sex exploitation, organized crime podcast. This is a very big deal. What we're doing is very, very big. We've impacted this situation in a way it has never been impacted before. I am not acting alone. There are police. When I quote someone else, that is fruit of the investigation from police from outside Oklahoma. These guys do not do business like Oklahoma law enforcement. They're not Hillbilly. They're not Country Bumpkin. They're not Meter Maid. They're getting the job done. They're getting the job done. They're very, very irritated at Oklahoma and Texas law enforcement for letting this just go on and on and on and on. They have had to spend resources and time making sure that I'm safe. Mr. Perry, your contact is not wanted. When you contact me, everybody gets pissed off. You got leaks, you got informants, you got infiltrators, maybe. I'm just saying, you need to consider that. You have leaks for sure. You have cops. They're pissed every time you contact me. Your contact isn't wanted. I do not understand what in the fuck is wrong with you that you think I care what you think or would help you. In your imagination where you asked what you think, you are making a fool of yourself and you don't even know it. You have embarrassed everybody. You've embarrassed yourself and you don't have any idea that's what you've done. We get the help for 10 years. This is not a day. This is not a week. This is not once or twice. It is every day, all day long, for a decade. We get the information while you're planning to do a crime against me, and you get told on. And you've made a lot of phone calls, and nobody will tell you who it is that is investigating you, and that is intentional that you don't know that. Oklahoma, you have wasted a lot of their time asking them to do things to me. They've had to argue with you, David, and argue with you, David, and argue with you, Charles. We can't do that. We're not going to do that. We can't do that to her. And why are they even taking your phone calls? Our guys are like, we don't take their phone calls. Why are they? They're letting them waste their time. Because these people are mentally ill. They don't understand a word you say. And I'm going to prove that out just here in just a minute. We've said this for a long time. The results of what you've done to me have got you caught. Like you've never been caught before. And yet, you wake up every day and go right back at it like you enjoy being caught, like you've never been caught before. What in the fuck else are we supposed to think? You are not wanted, Charles. I did not invite you to Oklahoma. You make every ounce of my skin crawl. I don't do peeping Tom. I would never go out with a man who is a peeping Tom. I would never go out with a man or give him the time of day who is canned food or pedophile or cop killer. And listen, I don't have to use the fucking word allegedly at all. I don't. Mark, I don't have to use that word. I get that you're irritated. She can't just say use allegedly. Guess what? I don't have to say it at all. In my opinion, based on what I've seen and heard, your clients, and maybe you as well, are cop killers and pedophiles, and sex offenders, and human traffickers. Did you sell me or not? You're desperate to deliver. You think I'm one of your girls, and you think wrong. Because what is happening instead is What you say in your meetings while you're planning a crime gets out everywhere. So why in the fuck would you be that stupid? I'm not even gonna explain it. You're gonna have to get somebody to help you. I'm not a special education teacher. I don't have puppets, crayons, clay, Play-Doh, paints, finger paint. I don't do that shit. We know I can do. I'll sting up a cop. If he's corrupt, I'll find out. If he's a corrupt cop, I'll find it. I don't like corrupt cops. No one does. No one likes corrupt cops. Listen, I shouldn't have to tell you this shit. You should just know. The defunding police movement was about police corruption. And it turned things upside down. And you missed the message. You missed the message. Okay, people are not tolerating that crap anymore. We cannot defund police. That is not the solution. But you missed the message. Completely went over your heads. Secondly, Mr. Perry, if you can't read polling that says crime is second on the list of things people want stopped, you can't run for shit. Republican or Democrat, doesn't matter. You have no business running for any office at all if you can't read a poll and understand what the public wants. And someone said, you guys are sick and tired of her finding out what you're going to do to her that is illegal before you do it. And the guy said, yes, we are. He said, I'm going to tell you something. You're missing something very big right here. And you need to pay very close attention to it. People don't like what you're doing. You're making them uncomfortable. And she said that. Her guys are very strategic. They're very methodical. They're very calculated. And they understand what people want. They do their homework or they don't do anything. They know everything about it or they don't make a move. Your guys are lazy and sloppy and they don't think anything through and they don't care. They're going to try to make this work one way or the other. And they fuck it up every time. Because that's how they're doing this. And they're up against people who are very, very intelligent, very strategic, very methodical. They do their homework or they don't do anything until they get that done. They understand what people want. It is not this. These men are not entitled to crime. They're not entitled to crime. Listen to me, Mr. Betancourt, Lucius, Calvin, Geppetto. We get the help, not you. You are Team Told On. The results of your attitude, of your sense of entitlement, of I'm a billionaire and everybody owes me something, have gotten you caught like never before in your lives. And you don't get that. You don't understand what you're doing to provoke and enrage. You're not fitting in a civilized society. You're disruptive to a civilized society where people have peace and the right to peace and the right to not be victims of your crime. And you don't have the right to impose your crime on us. You're not entitled. So what he said is, until Mr. Perry and Mr. Betancourt and Lucius and Calvin and Geppetto and Blankenship and Desiree and Richard and Dickie and Andrew and Lawrence and James and Reuben and Nisbet and Greg, Tim, and Larry and Bethany and Damien and Gabe and Jacob get it through their heads. People do not like what you're doing at all. And Charles, Dave, Josh, Joe, and Matt, nothing's going to change. She's going to continue to find out before, not after. So, if you're not smart enough to get there after 10 years, there's no hope for you. All this stuff, you asked for it. You just asked for it. So, here's another quote that is a fruit of the investigation, Mr. Perry. I understand you wanted to take my car in part to leave me destitute and in part to look in there and see if there's some way, some device, some technological device that would make it possible for these guys to talk to me. Okay, for the record, listen, I'm going to say this one time. This is for the record. We use these in your criminal case. There's a lot of probable cause hearings. These are my podcasts are part of it. This is my testimony, so to speak. If you forget things, listen to it again. The other reason we record them is because we're tired of repeating ourselves for you. So, There's three reasons. We're documenting the crime as it happens. We're documenting the threats as they are made. So that we're not looking back going, well, I think maybe back somewhere. Nope. On this day, at this time, I said they were talking about XYZ and they threatened a specific crime, and here's the details on it that we got. Okay? That's how that works. So, for the record, when you're in jail and you're about to go to trial and there's discovery and you want to question how the discovery was obtained to possibly suppress it if it was obtained illegally, that is when you can address those issues. They never, ever have to tell you how they get the information to me. There is absolutely no constitutional right to you, afforded you, that would require them to tell you how the information got to me. It is a need to know. Because they don't want to get the phone calls that the Oklahoma guys get, where you take up hours of their time arguing and arguing and arguing, and they're all sick of it, believe me. Believe me, they don't have to take your call. They don't have to. Then we don't know why they do. We're scratching our head going, why are they taking this phone call? Here we go again with David taking up hours and hours and hours of Mays County, Rogers County, Tulsa County, arguing and arguing and arguing and arguing, and it is ridiculous. And they're like, no, we're not doing that. Nope, we're not doing that either. Nope, we're not doing that either. I don't want to get mixed up with these guys that are helping her. Maybe you need to pay attention to what's happening. I really don't want to get them all pissed off at me. Look what they're doing to you. So I really don't want to go to jail with you, okay? And you're wasting my time on the phone. I got shit to do, normal shit. Why don't you? So our guys are like, that's why we don't. That's one reason we don't tell them who we are. We can get a lot more done if they don't know who the hell we are. A whole lot. We've gotten a lot done. I don't know what's taking so long for the arrest. It's a need to know. They don't have to tell me that, and they haven't. I don't know who leaks are. I don't care. Mr. Perry asks me about leaks every fucking day, and I, for the life of me, cannot figure out why he thinks I would ever help him. In 10 years, I never have. Why would I start now? And I don't give a shit what he thinks. I moved twice to have no further contact with him at all. That means I packed all my shit. I had a son in my custody at 10 years old. Packed my stuff. Uprooted my kid. Made him leave everything he knew. All his friends, all his teachers, everybody he knew. He had just lost his grandparents and his brother. Tristan and Dennis, my boys, did absolutely everything together. They were very, very, very close. And Mr. Perry caused a problem so that those people were gone from our lives. At 10 years old, my son lost his everything. It's just me and him and his dad. So, and his dad did not live where we lived. His dad moved. Okay, so we moved there to get away from Charles, so I never again have to even hear his name. I made it very clear. For 4 years, I did not tell anybody but a few close friends. He is stalking me. He's pulling up behind my backyard. It's on Facebook messages. We've shown it over and over and over and over and over. There's nothing political there. It is about stalking. Stalking is a crime. It's menacing. It's harassing. It's not civilized. You're not fitting in with a civilized society. That is evolving. It's not, but it should. We hope that our civilization evolves to be better for our kids and grandkids. Unfortunately, it's deteriorating because of guys like you, and because of corrupt cops that don't put you in jail when they should have put you in jail the first time you did something. So for their kids, it's not safe anymore. They did that to their children. They're doing that to their grandchildren. I'm not going to do that. I've done a lot of sacrificing to not do that and stoop to that. If they want to stoop to that, that's their choice. Everybody has their own choices. We can't control a damn thing in life that other people do to us, but we can control what we do and how we see things and our own decisions, and we have to live with them. And I've had to live with mine. I've had to live in my car for 6 months. That was a year ago, by the way, so I'm not emaciated right now. It was a year ago. I'm sick of hearing those conversations too. Oh, I went into that club and I saw her. She's not skinny. I mean, it's not like she's starving to death. But you're trying to make me starve to death. aren't you? Get her money out of the tip jar, we heard you say. We can't get her money out of the tip jar, we heard you say, because somebody told her that we were going to have those girls take the money out of her tip jar. So which one talked? Because as soon as somebody puts money in her tip jar, she takes it right out. We heard you say it. Fruit of a police investigation, Mr. Perry. Okay, you don't get to know how they talk to me. It's none of your business. You can talk to police on the phone, sir. You have cameras in my home, sir. You really have to go through my car and see if there's technology that I would have allowed. I did. These people helping me have permission to get in my privacy. You do not. You do not. You skank. You're a pervert. It's gross. You're gross. You gross me the hell out. Okay, so, it was a year ago. I'm living in my car. I'm living in my car because these guys want to traffic me, and they think that if they make me destitute and broke and I'm practically eating out of a dumpster, then I'll go, oh, okay, now I'll be trafficked. Well, we got this great house for you, and you can drive a Mercedes, and we'll help you get your real estate license. And David Roberson said she's not going to wear a cap and gown unless she has a nursing degree. We're going to make her go to nursing school so that she can take care of the other victims at the Houston compound. We need our own nurse. And I'm like, fuck that. I don't want any of that. I'd rather live in my car. I'd rather live in my car. And let these guys continue to investigate and continue to do what they do. Using me. Guess what? The bad guy is after me, and I'm helping them. What better way to catch a bad guy and get inside information than that? And then they got people from the inside. Why would they not? Why would they not? Okay, you're not entitled to crime. It is bizarre that you think you are. I do not care what you think. No one does. No one asked you. You imagined it. If you think you're just imagining things, because no one asked you, Connie. And okay, so for the record, you're not entitled to know how the cops get me information. I'm not the only one they get that information to, by the way, and I've told you that. No one is going to help you. I said, as long as I'm broke and you're still in my life, I give you my word, they will not help you. You were told, if you give back what you took, and you fix what you broke, and you get out of her life on your own, we'll call you and see what we can work out. The guys will, not me. The guys will. That's who makes those decisions. What we can do, what kind of deal could be made, and all that stuff. Okay? We can ask the judge for mercy in sentencing. He showed remorse. He made it right with her. So he asked for mercy on the court. He doesn't have to give it to you. There's no guarantees. Okay? If you don't, which you haven't, it's 10 years now. He said that a long time ago. Then we're not giving you the time of day, because what we told you to do, don't invade her privacy. Do not contact her directly or indirectly in any form at all, her or her family. And get your hands out of her wallet. Stop doing things to cost her money, cost her time, or just taking her money, like having the girls take my money out of the tip jar. Okay, she is not to be broke. We've known her all our life. She can make money. She's not to be broke. We know you're taking it. So, as long as you're continuing to make her the victim of your crime, we're not giving you the time of day. You're going to get the runaround, and you have our promise. That's what's going to happen. Our promise is you will get the runaround until your arrest. Period. Got it? Everybody got it? Okay. It's different when you do the crime to me. No other victim has found out they're trafficked beforehand, or that David wants him to get a nursing degree to take care of the other victims at the compound beforehand, or that you want my car to go through it and see if there's some equipment I've allowed in my car, if there is any, or some equipment I've allowed in my home, my house, not yours. Okay, I do have a job, and at that job I do work. For that, I am paid. That's not your money. That is my money. Got it? I can do that all by myself without your help. Before I met you, made money. There was no one around to steal it. Made money just fine. Okay? I did have one employee steal a hell of a lot of money. Okay, she took $90,000. That means I made $90,000 for her to take. Plus, we had a year receivables that fed my family. So, I'm fine on making money. I make money just fine. So as long as she wasn't around and you're not around, I don't have money problems, okay? That's just like that. You are making the money problems. Everybody knows it. My guys know it for sure. Remember, they hear everything you say. I don't put it all out. I don't have time. I don't have time. We put the most crucial, urgent stuff out. The most crucial, urgent threat to me, my safety, my well-being, my ability to pay my bills. You are going to get likely going to get a charge for coercion or witness tampering every time you interfere with commerce, every time you interfere with any contract at all. Hulu isn't paid. Netflix isn't paid. They're going to charge you. Rent isn't paid. They're going to charge you. Insurance isn't paid. They're going to charge you. Late fees I have. They're going to charge you. Bank problem you caused when the ATM ate my money. We heard you say it. As I put my money in the ATM, he heard you say, don't let that go through. So he's got that. He's already played it for the judge. Now what are you going to do? Okay, do what you do. Do what you do. This is how the rest of the world sees you. I've referenced the TV show The Closer in an episode called Ruby. Cyril Wecht said of Jeff Epstein, we were afraid someone killed Jeff because even prisoners are repulsed by guys like him who commit the kind of crimes he committed. Ruby is it's a very interesting ethical, moral dilemma for a cop. Imagine you're a cop and you've arrested a pedophile and you have a missing 8-year-old, 9-year-old little girl. And you're sitting talking to the guy and you're trying to get him to tell you where she is. You don't know at this point, is she alive or dead? You're hoping she's alive. You don't know how long she has to be alive. You want to save her before she's dead, right? The guy goes in. He's trying to talk to him. The guy's not cooperating. The lawyer's up. But then he keeps talking. And the officer at this point makes the decision to beat the hell out of him, to find out where that little girl is. If you're a cop, what do? If you beat the hell of a suspect, you can't use anything he says in court because you got it illegally. It is illegal to beat the hell out of a suspect. At the same time, he could possibly save her life. What do you do if you're a cop and you're in that situation? Save the life and beat the hell out of the guy and get the information and just can't admit it into court? Try to get a confession some other way? I mean, what do? He chose to beat the hell out of the guy, find out, to get him to tell him, here's where the little girl is. They went to find, he did, he told him. They went to find the little girl, and unfortunately she was already dead. What if she was alive? It's a 50-50. What if she had still been alive and he saved her life? I mean, you don't know. I mean, these situations are very tough, ethical and moral conflict internally for a cop. Can you imagine having to go through something like that, where you're the one that's got to make that choice? Do I sit here and let this guy play word games with me and lawyer up and all this stuff and let that girl sit out there and die? Or do I beat the hell out of him right now and he tells me where she is and I can go get her and save her? If she's still alive. She could have been alive just as easily as she was dead. You don't know until you go find her. So it's hard. I mean, you feel for that guy, that cop that would be faced with such a choice. Okay, anyway, so this TV show, The Closer, episode Ruby, depicts that conflict that this officer had at that moment, that choice that he had to make, and he made the one to beat the hell out of the guy. Then LAPD is trying to figure out, okay, now we got a suspect that's beat up. We did find the little girl, but she's deceased. We didn't get to her on time. What do we do to cover up the beat up? So they know that he's going to get beat up if he's put in Gen Pop. So they put him in Gen Pop. And he did. He got the hell beat up. Why do you suppose people want to beat up sex offenders, especially pedophiles? Because you repulse us. Even prisoners are repulsed by people who do the kind of crimes you do. You are not fitting in a civilized society, and you are not entitled to impose your strange-o on us. You are not entitled. You don't have that right. We have the right to a civilized society without you in it doing that. Children are very, very precious. Little baby tiny humans, and the rape of them will get you beat up one way or the other somehow, some way, at some point in your life. You're going to get beat up. I'm just saying. Yeah, that's how people react to people who do what you do and hurt kids. That's just how they do. So, that's your problem, isn't it? So that's what that episode is about. The episode has been referenced to try to get you to understand what you're not understanding. We get the help because other people see you like that. You make them angry enough. If they don't beat you up, they want to. Some of us, I do. I've said, if you get anywhere near me, I'll kick the shit out of you. And I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Because what you've done is so outrageous and cruel and disgusting and repulsive to everybody else, and you don't seem to get that. We are getting the help, not you. And you don't know why that is after 10 years. But you should. You should. Your crime is particularly heinous. In nature, it is depraved and demented, and it is heinous to the rest of us. And so, we are getting the help, and you are not. Now, I shouldn't have to explain that to you. I shouldn't have to.
Me, please, I can't live here anymore.
This guy is a menace. People don't like him. You should have just talked to him. Okay, well, but those people are not who I'm talking about. Those people don't know that she hadn't already tried. Many times. He's been stalking her for 4 years, I think she said. So how many times in the 4 years has she tried to reason with him? When a woman says, leave me alone, leave her the fuck alone. Get a life. There's a lot of fish in the sea. Go find a different one. So, but what Mr. Perry and what Mr. Roberson are doing is this and so much worse. So much worse.
Because you stalked me, that's why I moved.
I don't. Just
leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
and I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you guys. I don't ever want to hear your voice to you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop.
Can you imagine living like that? With some guy doing this to you all the time?
I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore.
Just won't fuck off. It's awful. It is awful. It is not sexy. It is not hot. It is not romantic. It is horrible.
Because you stalked me. That's why I moved.
Just
leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
and I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you guys. I don't ever want to hear your voice to you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me
All
alone.
you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them, especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumb ass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. And you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them, especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumb ass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. You need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
Stepdad's been raping you since you
Leave
were
me
12 years
alone.
old?
Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
Stepdad's been raping you since
Leave
you were
me
12 years
alone.
old?
Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
Leave me alone.
Stepdad's been raping you since you
Leave
were
me
12 years
alone.
old?
Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh my God.
See, this is how people end up on Lifetime. This is how people get hurt and stabbed, and then you want to say that the woman is crazy because she was the one walking down the street in whatever clothes that she was wearing. If a woman tells you to leave her alone and they're constantly walking away from you, that is your cue to back the hell up, turn around, and talk it up. She does not want to deal with you. And no, she does not have to give you an explanation. And no, she does not even have to give you 5 seconds of anybody's damn time because you cannot control your primal feelings from your testosterone running through your veins till you see something pretty that you think you're supposed to have. Leave her alone.
Right. Alright. Also, Beverly, Sanjay, Renee, not entitled. Okay, so we know you've been trying to get my driver's license because we've heard you talking about it. Okay, so if I've heard it, who else has heard it? Who else? It's 40 guys and they need to know, 12 reporters, 3 not in the U.S. The reporters aren't played all the recordings I'm played, but they're played quite a few. The reason for that is when they make arrests and the story gets out, they do not want things twisted. There's some reporters that they trust to keep things on the down, not talk about it, to keep it confidential and private and need to know. And then when they report the story, they report it properly. And they don't twist it and they don't spin it and all that crap. So that's why they've done that. They've worked with these reporters for a long time. They know them very well. So what I'm trying to tell you is you want to do a search warrant on me and my property, and there's no crime, Mr. Perry. The crime is what you're doing to me, and I'm just talking about it. No one is bothering you. You're getting caught bothering me and other people. So there's no crime that would require or give rise to a search warrant, Mr. Perry. You are not entitled to know how they get information to me, and because you're a peeping Tom, you already know that. You are taking things wrong that I don't even want you to know about. I do not consent to your peeping, or your voyeurism. I never did. I've billed you an invoice. You have to pay for the entertainment that you've taken. I did not give it to you. You're using my body. You're using my utilities. You're using my property for your entertainment and for your pretend love life, because you don't have a real one. It doesn't go both ways. You repulse me. So I moved 2 times. I left Lubbock in November 2013, and I went to the Dallas area, and I met somebody that I really liked, and you butt in. You caused problems everywhere I went. So again, I pack up a kid who again has to leave the new friends he's made and move again, twice, to get away from you. To never again have to hear what you think, or what you want, or how you feel, or what you need. And for the life of us, we don't know why you think I would even ask that. I would care. I don't want to hear it. When you contact me instead, we get information, not you. You are not to contact me. You're not to invade my privacy. So you've been billed $1,000 a day for using my body against my will, sir. And my property and my utilities. I have a job. I work hard at my job. For that I get paid. And I pay my bills. If you don't take it, I pay my bills. Number 2, I'm not going to help you. For 10 years, I never have. You're asking me, is it Caleb? Who the fuck is Caleb? I don't know Caleb. I'm not told who the leaks are. Nor would no one understands why you think I would help you. You've been very cruel. You've been very gross. You've been very disgusting. There's no fucking way I would ever help you. I slept in my car first. I went without food. I didn't apply for food stamps. I didn't go to the Catholic charities. I just didn't eat, sir. I just didn't eat. I'm sure as shit not going to steal if I won't even take charity. That money is supposed to be for people who cannot work. I can work. I'm perfectly capable of working. You are the only reason I don't have money. You take it as fast as I make it. So, for that, they take from you, don't they? It's kind of worked out that way. It wasn't intended to be that way. But you think it's cute to invade privacy? Do you think it's cute when they invade yours? They have a court order. Or you have a leak. You're just weirdo. You don't have anybody's permission to do anything like that. So there's a very big difference. Do you like it when your privacy's invaded? Do you like taking the medicine you dish out? When you take something from me, they take from you. Got it? That's how that works. It's always worked that way. And you threaten me, I'm going to get you, I'm going to get you, I'm going to get... For 10 years, the only thing you've gotten is told on, sir. Because you repulse people. You are not fitting in to a civilized society. You're very disruptive, and everybody would like for you to stop. And if you won't stop by yourselves, you're being stopped. We get the help, not you. So what is it you think people want? Not you. Not what you're doing. And that's what the guy said in September of last year. Her guys understand what people want, and it is not this. And then tell Charles and Dave and Josh and Joe and Matt and Lucius and Calvin and Sanjay and Beverly and all those people who are committing such heinous crimes as human trafficking, pedophilia, sex exploitation, murder, rape, kidnapping, in my opinion, based on what I've heard and what I know. I'm of the opinion that's what you're doing. And you do it all day, every day. Voyeurism. Rape. Rape by voyeurism. You're violating me. You're violating a lot of people. And you're caught. When you did it to me, you started getting caught. And you act like you still don't know that. And he said people don't like that. It's making everybody uncomfortable. And until they grasp reality that people don't like that, it's making everybody uncomfortable. It'll happen again tomorrow. She'll find out again tomorrow. It's been 10 years of this. Until he's arrested or until he grasps reality, it'll happen tomorrow. Take it to Vegas and bet on it. It's a sure win. And it has. Things just don't click for you guys, do they? No, they don't. Okay, so I've documented. I moved from Lubbock, Texas, in November 2013, and went to the Dallas area. Had to leave that Dallas area in September 2014, and came to Oklahoma home to my family. I came here to be with my family and have nothing further to do with you. For 4 years, I kept my mouth shut about this. I didn't go to the media with it. I didn't go to I didn't go to the news. I went to a few close friends. Most did not live in Texas. They were not Texas voters. They didn't have anything to do with you at all. I did not want to be on the news. I did not want to be a scandal. I did not want to be your bad, error in judgment, blah, blah, blah. I wanted for you to fuck off. I wanted for you to just fuck off. So somebody said, had he done that in 2014, this would have gone nowhere. And he could run for governor or whatever else he wanted to run for. But because he has continued to beat down Cindy, now there's so much more to cover up, they can't cover it up. They can't do it. There's too much here. And now a pending criminal case. And she keeps talking about what they're finding out in that criminal case in the process of an investigation. And he can't cover that up. What courtroom is that in? It's sealed. It's sealed. Why wouldn't it be? It's a need to know. Okay. So when I've talked about the Facebook messages, all these albums, they're right here. Mr. Powell, in 2011, you didn't do your homework, did you? No, you did not. All of this, none of this is political. It's personal. It's a personal moral failure, same as Bill Clinton, same as Anthony Weiner, same as Roger Ailes, same as Weinstein, that Weinstein dude. The Me Too movement, have you heard of that? We don't put up with this shit anymore. Not anymore. This, and you're not entitled to fuck. You stupid little shit. All this. I might have to move. I might have to move. Look what he's doing to me. And my friend Cheryl saw him come into a restaurant looking for me. And he had his staffers watching. The staffer, is she a human trafficking victim as well, Mr. Perry? We believe she is, Catherine. We believe she's one of your victims. So, I don't know. I understand also what came from the investigation is that my cousin lied 3 times on the stand. That you had to make him keep changing his story. And what that did is that rubbed somebody the wrong way. And they said, what a cold, callous family she has. She's better off without them. My family would not ever fucking do that. Ever. Would they welcome in a stranger who's a criminal and shove her out? My family would not do that. Right from the get-go, had he started coming around, my family would have sat in a circle, put him on speakerphone, and every single one of us would have said, you stay the hell away from her and us, and do not come around us again. And that would have been the end of it, right there. What they do, they have him over for dinner while she's sitting in her car starving to death. They welcome him in, the bad guy, into their house, into their lives, into their homes, and leave their family member out there in the cold. And I've never heard anything so horrible in my life. And my family would not fucking do that. And someone else said something. He was basically expounding upon what she said. And he said that I have a female niece who is single. And had she come to my home and said, I have a stalker and this is who the guy is. And this guy comes around and said, on my property, I would have said, you get off my property and you don't come back unless she brings you. Because she said you're stalking her and she doesn't like your attention. And she doesn't like you. So you're not coming to my home again unless she brings you. Got it? Now get off my property. And so I can understand the comments that her family handled that very wrong. And I don't understand why they did. I really don't. I would not have done that. I don't know why they did. And I think that that's becoming more and more the case, that the people are starting to question the integrity of her family, the integrity of her boss, the integrity of her friends, that have allowed a very wicked man to become part of their lives and shove Cindy out and to dictate to them when they can talk to her and what they can say. Because all they have to do is call her and tell her what he did. All they have to do is go to her and say, we've got a man who's coming around and here's what he's doing. And that would be the end of it. Knowledge is power. Information is power. Got it? That's how that works. So you've caused people in my life to have their integrity questioned, and their moral fiber questioned, and their intellect questioned. That's all you did. Nothing else. So your little Red Riding Hood. Here's human traffickers have code words. We have them. One of them is Little Red Riding Hood, where they use the family to manipulate or gaslight the victim into being trafficked. And it didn't work, we found out. We can't get to her driver's license, she found out. We keep trying to take her car away from her, she finds out before. There's not a day that goes by David Roberson doesn't call and whine and argue and beg and argue and whine. Get her car away from her, get her car away from her. Then she'll go. Then she'll go be trafficked. We're going to pressure her and coerce her by using her car, by using her income, by using interference with commerce and contracts. And make it where even if she wants to pay her bills or meet legal requirements like insurance or getting a driver's license or registering your car, we're going to make it where she can't. We're going to impede her ability to do that, and we're going to do it intentionally so that they take her car away and it's gone. And she's destitute and coerced. And you want to eat? You want to live in a home? You're going to have to go with us and be trafficked, and you're going to have to be pimped out. And we're going to tell everybody else, we're going to live this great life. We're going to lie. Guess what? Here's a news flash, everybody. Criminals lie. Stop being stupid. Stop embarrassing yourself being stupid. Okay? Some people are onto you, Charles, and you're insulting their intelligence, and then that pisses them off. It's funny as fuck. All right, so here's this. So here's where it's beginning to question people's intellect, their integrity, their morals, is when you have a perfect stranger walk in the room and tell you XYZ, and you just go, oh, okay, I believe you. And you've known someone all their life, or you've known someone 10 years, or you've known someone 5 years. And a perfect stranger is when you've gotten to know, here's your strengths, here's your weaknesses, here's what here's your character, here's what you'll do and not do in any given set of circumstances. And after 5 years or 10 years or all their life, you should know that. If you're observant at all, intelligent at all. They're ignoring all that, and they're believing the word of a perfect stranger. Who the fuck does that? So it's causing people to question, what in the fuck stupid does that? Believes a perfect stranger over someone they've known all their life, or for 10 years, over, and just takes their word for it. Always trust but verify. Reagan said, trust but verify. That means when someone tells you something, it's okay to maybe believe it, but first check it out. Check out the information first. So I had a neighbor several years ago in Henderson that was running around telling the whole neighborhood he is multimillionaire, keeping in mind we're in a mid-level income subdivision. I'm not a millionaire, and he's my neighbor. So you're a millionaire, and you're living here. Why is that? Oh, we're building a house. Okay. And you're also remodeling this house because you've got a gaping hole on the second floor with no balcony and no glass cover. It's just a hole in the wall. And it's been that way for like a month now. So what I think is you're full of shit. I think you have no money at all. I think you can't even finish that thing. You opened up that hole up there thinking you're going to put a sliding glass door and a balcony on the second floor outside the master bedroom, and you cannot even finish it. So don't sit here and lie to me. I'm not stupid. Don't insult my intelligence. Oh my God, all hell broke loose. This guy goes running down the street with his fucking bank statements, yelling and screaming how much money he had. I could not believe it. I've never seen anybody act that way in my life. And I told his wife, I looked at her and I said, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know what you know and don't know, but I've been around rich people, lots and lots of rich people. They don't say anything at all about their money. They don't talk about their money. If they really have it, they don't talk about it. Your husband is acting like he doesn't have it, but he wants everybody to think he does. Why is he doing that? And she got real quiet. She goes, I don't know. I don't know. So at that point, she's starting to question him. He actually calls me over to his house, sits me down, has a stack of papers there, and starts explaining. Oh my gosh, that's what criminals do. You just don't understand, let me explain. Every time you call them on their shit, that's what they're going to do. 9 times out of 10. Start explaining. So, I have the mortgage here, I just can't find it. Do you? Do you have the mortgage there? You just can't find it. I think you don't have the mortgage there because you don't own this house. And I think you're remodeling to make your wife think you do. That's what I think you're doing. I think you're full of shit. I think you've been lying to your wife about how much money you actually have and all the neighbors. He looks at me and says, I just paid 80 grand cash for a Hummer. We're bringing it home next week. I'm like, okay. His wife pulls up a week later in a Saturn, $10,000 car, not 80. I walked up to her and I go, this is not the Hummer. And she shook her head and she goes, no, it's not, is it? I was like, oh, I don't even know what to say. Bless her heart. So, all of a sudden the neighbors were mean to us. How could you say such mean things about such nice people? Blah, blah, blah. We moved to a different subdivision. A couple of months later, Mike's husband comes home and he goes, guess what? I just ran into his wife. She said he was just arrested by the feds for Ponzi scheme fraud type deal. And they never owned that house. You're right. And they've lost everything. She's now living in a 1-bedroom apartment with 3 kids. And she's got like 3 jobs trying to take care of those kids. He's in a federal penitentiary. And I was like, wow, okay. And what about the neighbors? He said they don't talk anymore. They don't talk. I said, okay. So then we go to a school event. Keep in mind, our kids are all going to the same school. Even though we moved to a different subdivision, the kids were in the same school together. So we run into them at the school event. I think it was like Oktoberfest, Halloween, whatever. So, the thing in the gym where the kids all go and dressed up as in their costumes and do the trick-or-treat there at the school. And my neighbor comes walking up to me. She's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. Are you? And she goes, I should have listened to you. I'm so sorry that we treated you that way. They put us on a corporation as officers in a corporation that was like a front or something, and we almost went to jail. We didn't even know what he was doing. And we almost went to jail for this with that guy. He was so full of shit. And I said, I'm sorry. And she goes, no, we just fucking should have listened to you. And I said, well, I mean, all he had to do was look at it. I said, I wasn't around that guy 5 minutes. And I knew he's full of crap. You don't do the stuff he's doing and you're not full of crap. And she goes, I know, I get it. We should have paid attention. And anyways, the point is, when someone tells you something, you don't have to believe it. You can question it. You can ask them to confirm it and prove it and verify it. So I have had multiple coworkers that Mr. Perry and Mr. Roberson and Lucius and these guys that human traffic have sent to my work. Let's try to make her look like she's stealing money. And there's about 3 ways they've tried to do that. Note it for the record right now. I have a coworker there right now who is trying to get me fired and trying to make it look like I'm stealing money. Okay? I'm saying it right now. There is an effort to take over that club without the owner realizing he's taking over the club. They want all their girls, their traffic girls in there. They want the non-traffic girls out. They want to run the club through the girls. Okay? I'm saying it right now. Prove that right or prove that wrong. Just like that. Okay. So before it was the other waitress. She's not there anymore. Remember I said I won't go back till she's gone. She's gone. I'm back. I said that last year. I said she's trying to make it look like I'm stealing money. She's stealing the money. Did I not? Okay. She's gone. I'm back. People will prove who they are eventually. It will bite you in the ass if you don't pay attention to what you see. And believe what you see. Okay. Right now I'm working with the man that I worked with at Lady Godiva's that said that death threats were poetic. At least he's poetic with his death threats. Who very may well have been involved in actually putting the arsenic in my drink. I'm standing next to the man that I work with every day who may have been part of trying to kill me. And I act like nothing's wrong. But for him listening to a podcast, he wouldn't know I know anything's wrong at all. For the record, note that. Okay? Also, for the record, I'm going to quote someone else right now that came from a police recording. It's fruit of the investigation. The guy said, they want this man to testify that he saw Cindy on her phone typing. but we don't have a way to prove why he even looked. Do you go look every time you see somebody typing on their phone at what they're doing? Also, they're looking at some of that is communications with her attorney. It's private. It's privileged. Okay, so you are now violating her right to privilege conversations with her attorney because you see her typing and they told you to go look and see what she's typing. Okay, for the record, everybody note that. I said it today. February 26, 2024, in a podcast. I'm saying it right now. That's what he did. Nobody else does he do that to, just me. Why? Why would he do that? But for being told, why the fuck would he do that? Okay, so, but he did. Second of all, in a conversation about leaks, who might be leaking and why might they be leaking? It might be some of the girls she's working with, and it might be because there's two waitresses there. The other one is very, very nice, but she does not hustle like Cindy. She doesn't sell like Cindy. Okay, keep in mind, we've both been working together as waitresses since November, so when I say something and then they make a change, they made the change because of what I said. Okay, note that for the record as well. All of a sudden, after I've said something, they change it up. Yeah, okay. My guys know exactly what you're doing because they've heard you talking about it before you do it. What that does for us is it establishes maliciousness in what you're doing. You intend to cause harm. You intend to commit a crime. You intend to tamper with a witness. You intend to change somebody's testimony. You intend to change the appearance of what it is you're doing because you got caught. And it's malicious. Okay? You have attacked me because I'm right. If I wasn't right, you wouldn't need to. Note that for the record as well. Okay? What he said is, the other girl's very nice, but she doesn't hustle like Cindy hustles. And the girls are sick and tired of Charles and Dave running those people off, running customers off, so there's no customers. And we all know that's what they're doing. They have done it for a long time. Everyone knows it. That's not a secret. So they're all tired of that. They're tired of she's working her ass off trying to sell dances for them, and this guy finds him and finds him and any way he can come up with to find him, he'll find him. Not only that, but one of the girls that I sold the VIP comes up and says to me after the VIP, that guy that you sold the VIP, unfortunately, it was very unpleasant. He tried to grab me, he tried to bite me, he tried to lick me, and I said, so it was more like a wrestling match than a lap dance? And she goes, yeah. And she goes, where was Hunter? Where was Hunter? That's the guy's name, Hunter. Where was he? Isn't he the bouncer? Isn't he supposed to make sure guys don't do that to me? Yep. Guess where he was? In the back bad-mouthing you. So he wasn't doing his job. He was in the back bad-mouthing you. And watch, tomorrow I come in, he'll find me if I'm late. And take the money you just helped me make. So we don't like him. We fucking don't like that guy. And I said, well, I'll talk to him about making sure that you guys are not, but you can leave. You don't have to finish the dance. You can walk out. If a guy is assaulting you, basically, walk out. You don't have to do the dance. So what he did then, this whole conversation is maybe some of her coworkers are leaking. And again, I'm not even told who the leaks are. I don't even know. It's a need to know. I don't need to know how they get information or who they get it from. So it's appalling when Mr. Perry goes, is it Caleb? Is it Jim? Is it Al? I'm not told how they get the information. I don't know who your leaks are, and I don't care. And it is bizarre that you think I would help you. I don't want to hear anything from you at all. I sure as shit I'm not going to help you. When you contact me, we always get more. And you act like you like that. Because you never shut up. There's no mixed messages. Tapping my fingers is not something you should see me do. I'm just tapping my fingers. Cough. When I cough, it's not something you should see me do. You don't have my consent to do that. $1,000 a day for using my body against my will. my property, my utilities, that I work at my job to make money to pay for, plus $2,000 a day for doing it without my consent. When your criminal case hits, then we'll go to civil court and I'll get that. Okay? Do you understand? That's my intent. I'm telling you my intent right now. When you're in jail and you can't buy the judge this time, that's my intent. And there'll be a whole lot more evidence that comes out in your criminal case that I don't have access to, that a subsequent civil case we can deal. I'll be able to deal with it then. Okay? Because then it'll be public record. All the stuff that you lie about and try to hide that you're doing, it'll be part of the discovery and all that, unless you get it suppressed. And the bar is different, sir. Criminal case. Okay? The bar's different in civil and criminal, right? Okay, so you have an attorney that's supposed to explain all that to you. I'm not going to explain what it is. I'm just saying the bar's different. So she goes, why is he in the back making sure I'm not getting fucking raped back there? Isn't that his job? Why isn't he doing his job? Why is he bad-mouthing you and your job? And finding us, taking the money you're helping us make. I don't get it. So the conversation was maybe that bullying that he's doing, that he's neglecting his duties, and instead bad-mouthing Cindy and undoing what she's trying to, that's not setting well with those girls, and that might be causing some girls to leak. And again, I'm not told that information. I don't know. And what does the guy do? You're not going to believe it. Here's his reaction. First of all, now we know he's heard what we said. Now we know he knows. He's going to react to what I said. But he reacted to the wrong thing. He comes to me and says, we sold a lot of VIPs last night, so much so, the boss gave me a $20 bonus. And by the way, as of Thursday, I can go behind the bar whether you like it or not. And the guy who watches the cameras is out of the country indefinitely. I can steal and there's not a fucking thing you can do about it. Basically, that's what he just said. He looked at me and he said, I'm running the club now. Okay. I didn't say a word. I said, okay. I got this another way, dum-dum. I got this another way. You do what you do. You think that this was about you having power, and you missed the point. You missed the point completely, and guess what? It is not my responsibility to explain to you what the point of that conversation was. It was your people trying to figure out who your leaks are. Who might we have pissed off that would leak? Maybe those girls, because you're doing things like that. Like what you just did. Brilliant. Perfect. Could not have been better, what you just said to me. I'm taking over the club now. I'm running the club now. I got a bonus for all the VIPs we sold last night when you weren't here. I'm now going to come behind the bar and steal if I feel like it. And the guy who checks the cameras to see who did the theft is out of the country indefinitely. So I'm going to fuck you over. And I'm going, and I did say, I told you so. The whole conversation, dummy, was about what are you doing to cause somebody to maybe leak, to maybe be motivated to cooperate with our guys, to put a stop to you. Now, you have an attorney, use your attorney, and don't bother me with that shit again. Okay? It's just like that. I don't care what you do. If you do something criminal, we'll catch it. I have help, don't I? They won't call you back. They will not call you back. So, first, duly know for the record, you want to get a search warrant to get access to information you're not entitled to have, ever. Number 2, you're having people watch things they shouldn't know anything about and don't watch for everyone else, and violate my right to a confidential conversation with an attorney. Right? 3, what we commented on was, what are you doing to piss people off that might make someone want to leak? And you did more of it. Brilliant. 4, there's a lot of questions beginning to arise from intellect, morals, ethics of people who have allowed a perfect stranger to shove me aside. I'm sorry, a perfect stranger to come in and badmouth me, and you just go for it like some stupid, lapdog, and you don't question anything, and okay, we'll do, okay, if you say, wow, okay, so you have to live with what happens. Also, these guys are not country bumpkins. They're not hillbilly. They do not do business like Oklahoma law enforcement, and they are getting the job done like no one else. Because we know about the driver's license, Mr. Perry, that you want it because that's what human traffickers do. Did you reach Dr. Zollner? We're peeping toms. We know that she might be headed to this doctor. We tell him we have to talk to him first. HIPAA violations. You do not get to use forgeries, Mr. Perry, to violate my HIPAA rights. And so we got that because we now have your expression of intent to violate HIPAA rules. Or ask that doctor to. Your marriage license, your power of attorney, all that stuff is forged. I never saw it. I never seen it. I've not signed it. So whoever it is that has those, bring me your copy and watch Mr. Perry shit himself. Because he knows I have not seen it, I didn't sign it. Chief Miller asked me about the marriage license in 2019. Now Mr. Perry wants to have some kind of fraud wedding, which I would never contribute in. I would never be any part of that. I'll kick the shit out of you, get anywhere near me, sir. So, I mean, you don't sign someone else's name to a piece of paper and not tell them. There was no consent to something I knew nothing about until after you had done it. So Chief Miller's like, did you sign that? I'm like, why would I do that? He goes, tell me how you wrote. Did you write your middle initial? Did you write full middle name? And I go, I didn't sign it. Bring me your copy. He goes, I don't have it with me. I go, I'm telling you, I didn't sign it. And he goes, that's all I need to know. So, and now he's dead. And we have reason to believe you killed him. Prove you didn't. Okay? Prove you didn't kill Lucky and Frame Mike when he didn't die. You tried to kill him too. Here we go with the putting stuff in people's drinks again. He was dying of opioid overdose, sir, and treated with Narcan. Not for being knocked out in a fight. You guys like putting stuff in people's drinks, don't you? Yeah. Alright, there you go. There you go. There you go. Okay, these are people I've not picked a fight with. I don't like fight. I don't like drama. But if you pick a fight with me, please remember I have help. I have help who's crushing it. Look, they got me this. You want me downtown? Why do you want me downtown? Duly noted for the record, everybody. They want me to go downtown. Okay? Look at this. Is this true or not? Did you try to sell me or not? And you're desperate to deliver. Because you haven't been able to. You've tried 100 different ways to coerce. 100 different ways of pressure, and it's not working. Right? Is that true or not? Yes or no? Trafficking comes with the same sentence as murder in some states. Look at that. They're crushing it, Charles. The guys helping me are crushing it. Hunter, the guys helping me are all over you. And they're crushing it. Do what you do. Look at that. He said, in March 2020, don't invade her privacy. Do not contact her or her family in any way, shape, or form, directly or indirectly, and she'd better not be broke. Stop doing things to take her money or cost her time and money. Stop. And you thought you had a choice. And for that, we got this. You don't have a choice, Mr. Perry. You are not loved or wanted. You're fucking rejected. And told on and told on. And look at this. They are crushing it. They told me Mike Neely was drugged. I found out before anybody else said it. Hunter, I knew Mike Neely was drugged before anybody else said it. If they make you listen to this podcast, listen to this. The guys that are after you for what you're doing to me and anybody else in that club you think might be leaking, and the owner, because you want to help Joe take it over without him realizing that's what you're doing. Look at this. They told me Mike Neely was drugged before anybody else said it, and that was confirmed months later in depositions. Mike Neely, the cop, Hunter. Okay, do what you do. Okay, you want me downtown. Duly noted for the record. Okay, your plans are malicious, and they're premeditated, and they're criminal. And they're intended to cause a serious injury to me. And because you thought you had a choice, We have more evidence. I got names of people after March 2020. Lucius, Calvin, Geppetto, Sanjay Beverly, Blankenship Desiree, James Rubin, Richard Dickey, Andrew Lawrence, Greg, Tim, Larry, Nisbet, Damien and Bethany, Gabe and Jacob. I don't know who the fuck Caleb is. Never heard of him. His name has not come up on anything. Nothing that I've heard. So when you ask me these names and I've not met these people, what about Betancourt? Who the hell is Betancourt, Charles? Your code words. Muffin Man. Who's the Muffin Man? That's a nickname. Papa John's means to deliver the victim to the buyer in a human trafficking deal. That is illegal. Life sentence, Charles, per count. What about the kidnapping charges? How many of you kidnapped? You've tried to kidnap me more than once. We'll just throw a blanket over and throw her in the back of the trunk. We heard you say that. I know about the affidavit you prepared. That is a flat-out lie. That you're going to try to make me under duress sign. You were going to pull something Saturday had I gone to work. I was told don't go to work. They're going to pull a shit. Go do something else. So you cost me money. You take my money, they'll take from you. They take intel. What they're going to use the intel is to put you in jail so that you can't take my money anymore. You can't invade my privacy anymore. You can't bother me and my family anymore. Okay? Got it? Does everybody note that for the record? That's the intent. It's our information, not yours. We decide what to do with it, not you. You can sit there in your bullshit land and bullshit all you want. It doesn't make it, Mr. Perry. When you contact me, we get more stuff like this. Every time you contact me. Every minute you invade my privacy. Every penny you take. Every problem you cause. Note that for the record. We've said it and shown you for 10 years. Every day, all day long. You have to just like getting caught. You have to. They got Hansel and Gretel means lure the victim, coax the victim, trick the victim into going someplace, and then hurt them. Like, how did you know Mike Neely had to be begged to go to Pensacola? Did he have to be begged? He said no, and you talked him into it. You tricked him into going. Is that why you asked me that question? You just want to know if I know who did that? Because you premeditated that murder? Okay, duly noted for the record. And every day that he has to sit in jail, you're going to pay for that, Mr. Perry. It's going to cost you. You're seeing things happen you've not seen before. And none of you act like you know what that means. And we don't know we have no words for that. We say it and we show you. You get told on is all you get. So when you start threatening me, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to take. I'm going to get you. I'm going to take. You get told on every day for 10 years. And that is all you get. But your threats are duly noted for the record, sir. Again. Everybody's sick and tired of having to repeat themselves for you. Okay? Everybody's tired of it. You can't run for office and have to have everything repeated for you and explained. Things that most people just know. Whether you're Republican or Democrat, doesn't matter. You run for president or dog catcher, doesn't matter. No one has time for that. No one. If you can't get it the first time, a lot of this stuff, nobody has, most people don't have to be told. They don't have to be told at all. They just know. You've been told over and over and over and over and over. It's just not clicking for you. You have Huntington's disease. We found out because you were cruel. The cruelty. What is that? Proverbs 11:17. Kindness brings blessings. We can get the information. That's a blessing. Cruelty will be your ruin of you. It will destroy you. You get told on because people want you stopped. All of you. Okay, just like that. The guys helping me are not Country Bumpkin, they are not Oklahoma, and they are not Hillbilly. And they're crushing it. Look at that. You either get it or you don't. Alright, so we have this blog where we document everything as it happens. This is on the perjury and the fraud in various court cases. This one is the human trafficking page. This one is Mr. Perry's mental illness. He has Huntington's disease. It causes hallucinations, paranoia, delusion, psychosis, and impaired cognitive reasoning. And if you talk to the guy for more than 5 minutes, you can tell he's got something wrong with him. You can tell. He doesn't even make sense. This is Chief Miller's murder. We went through every detail, and there is no fucking way Mike Neely did that murder. There's no way. He was found unconscious. He was dying of opioid overdose. Somebody put something in his drink, and Lucky questioned, what did you put in his drink? And the fight was between Lucky and the person that did that. And he was beat to death. Mike Neely has not a mark on him. Even the arrest report, not a mark on him. Red swollen right hand, but he's got an IV needle in it. Mr. Chief Miller died of internal decapitation from being hit back and forth. Right hand, left hand, back and forth. Over and over and over until his skull literally came off the rest of his body, and that killed him. You can't do that and have not a mark on you, and just a red swollen right hand with an IV needle in it. So if you didn't do that, prove who did that. Who did it, Charles? 6 days before the murder, I filed a car vandalism complaint. You guys are always going at my car. And you have obstructed justice more than once by a false arrest and by fraud upon a court. You go into court and you flat out lie. How many perjury charges will they get you? He could bring any charge against you he wants, jurisdiction or not, by a witness in tampering. The act was perjury. The act was fraud. It was intended to get her to change her testimony. It was intended to make her do something she didn't want to do or say something she didn't want to say. The interference with her money, same thing. Getting Hunter to get in her face like that, same thing. Okay? Here's the sad thing about me and Hunter. Hunter and I, when you take out all the stuff with Dave and Charles and all that drama and Joe, you take all that out, Hunter and I actually get along very well and work together very well. Very professional. That's a business. It is a place of business. It is to be run professionally. If he can't do that, I don't know what to say. Okay. There's that. There's my doctor saying he intended harm to you. He did it. It's always going to be a stalking escalation. Whatever it is they do, it's another stalking escalation. You have tried 20 different ways to do a second false arrest, thinking I'll call you. Oh, get me out of jail. And I will not. We'll go to trial, and that'll give me more for your criminal case if you're not already in jail for that. And I've already said that. Anything that you guys do in court will be used against you in your criminal case. Okay? It's public record. We've said it over and over and over. Okay, there's the grand jury. Yeah. There's an open court order on any and all grand jury hearings because you guys lie. They want to use any perjured statement as an act of witness tampering. It's intended to make me change what I'm doing. That guy, okay, Mr. Perry, here's the thing. All this stuff, I don't go to Texas. Mr. Perry's always in Oklahoma. Refuses to leave. Wasn't invited here. I don't want him here. Came here to get away from him. And the guy is so wiggy and so mental, he refuses to leave. I'm not in Texas. I don't go to Texas. This stuff is not happening in Texas. So somebody said, here's the thing. If I'm accused of stalking, the last thing I would do is go where the accuser is. I would stay as far away from the person accusing me of stalking as I could get. What does Charles do? Leaves his family, leaves his constituents, leaves his business, goes thousands of miles away to another state where the victim and the accuser moved for the second time to get away from him and refuses to leave, and that is stalking. That is, if ever there's stalking, that's it. It's not like she's in Texas. He's in Oklahoma where she is. What an idiot. What a fucking idiot. Okay, here's Pinto. Pinto came to my work to solicit prostitution on behalf of Mr. Perry. Right there. To my work in Oklahoma to solicit prostitution on behalf of Charles Perry. Tells me, the guy walks in, he goes, your husband sent me, and I'm like, I'm not married, so I think you got me confused with somebody else. What's the girl look like that you're looking for? I'm not married. I don't have a husband. No, your husband sent me. No, I'm not married, so you got the wrong girl. I'm happy to help you find the right girl if you'll tell me what she looks like. No, you're her. No, I'm not. The senator from Texas. Oh, for God's sake. I flip on my recorder. Boy, I got him good. This whole thing, it's all typed out. These are the transcripts. You could ruin it politically, he said. Look at that. Politically, you could ruin him. And I'm like, don't give a shit about his politics. What I want for him to do is leave me the fuck alone and no more guys like you coming into my work. How do you know I'm at work? Because you shouldn't know that. Steve Massengale doesn't know. Dan Pope doesn't know. Mark Ramsey doesn't know. Jason Moore doesn't know. John Steinmetz doesn't know. What do you? Yeah. Okay. The whole conversation is recorded here. You can listen to it. It's also recorded on this page. Here. A lot of these things are recorded here. Okay? So there's 2 places you can hear it. Okay, we also heard that they did. Okay, I was in jail. We're going to send her home, harass the hell out of her. When she complains about it, we'll lie and say she's harassing us. We heard they're trying that, even though we said it in 2017. Judge Kirkendall, this is how good my guys are crushing it. They got Judge Kirkendall in hearing and talking to Matt Powell and these guys. You got to leave her alone. She's the only one that got it right so far. You got to leave her alone so that I can rule out provocation and a trap, because it looks to me like you're doing exactly what the 2017 email says. You're in Oklahoma. She's not in Texas. She's having a lot of inexplicable problems that she should not have. Were there no you? If you didn't exist, because you're the causation. You're maliciously planning some premeditated something to take her car or wreck her car or damage her car or whatever to her car, or try to take her money and make her broke and do things that would be very upsetting. Talking to her family, that's very upsetting. Even your presence in Oklahoma is very upsetting for her. She moved to Oklahoma not to have any further dealings with y'all. So what I need you to do is fuck off. I'm paraphrasing. She didn't say fuck off. She said leave her alone, so that I can rule out provocation and entrapment, because it looks like you're doing exactly what she said. Again. Okay, yep. So if we're quoting judges, we're crushing it, Hunter. Here's my disclaimer. It used to be, used allegedly, nobody's been found guilty in a court of law yet. Not anymore. In my opinion, the same way people have the opinion that even though O.J. Simpson was acquitted of killing his wife, we all believe he did it. And we all believe that. We have the right to form an opinion and express it in this country. It's covered under the First Amendment. I believe these men to be sexually weirdo, perverts, engorged and strange-o. They can't do normal. Can't do it. They're deviants, and it's all about making money off of women and children and their bodies against their will, without their consent. So to coerce and pressure and kidnap and whatever, all this stuff is happening to me because that's what their goal is. We got to get her trafficked so I can get my millions, and then use her body to make profit, and then I'm going to kill her. So this is over, and we never have to, get caught again. What do you think the guys that are crushing it will do to you if you did something to me? Mr. Perry, when you contact me, we always find out more. We always find out more. I do not care what you think. No one understands why you think I care what you think. Only in your imagination were you asked. Only in your imagination were you asked. Okay, and I'll never help you. I don't know who the fuck Caleb is, nor do I care. I'm not told how they get information. I don't know if it's from a wiretap order or surveillance of some other kind, or a leak, or informant, or infiltrate. I don't know. I don't care. I don't need to know. That's not something. It's a need to know. I don't need to know that. The how do I? Okay, when y'all all go to your trial and they want to submit evidence, you can question how they got it. That's the appropriate venue to do that. Not asking me directly. Not an improper search warrant to find out how they're talking to me. That you never get to know. They never have to tell you that. So we've heard your conversations about, we need to get a search warrant and do a cavity search and do all this. No, there's no crime. Okay? It's not a crime to catch your crime. It's not a crime to talk about your crime. It's not a crime to document your crime, is it? No, it's not. I have the right to do that. You don't have the right to do the crime. And this is what cops are supposed to do, TPD. My guys are not Hillbilly. They're not Country Bumpkin. And they're not going to be corrupt. 10 years, they have, the undercover guys have talked to all of you. And you didn't know that's who you were talking to. So if they wanted money, they would have said it then. Don't you think? They won't even call you back. That is about how stalkers use technology to stalk. There's more technology now than ever, so it makes it easier to stalk. Voyeurism and cloning a phone. Hacking a phone. Getting access to information illegally. Using DoorDash to get me pulled over. Take her by this cop using DoorDash and have him pull her over. Act corruptly. Okay, so there's that. Alright, so did we get everything as of today? You know, they want to take my car, they want to take my computer, they want to take my driver's license, they want to do another false arrest to cause enough duress, hoping that I'll talk to him and go, okay, now I'll be trafficked. Nope, see you in court, see you at trial. And I've said that already over and over and over and over and over. We got Hunter and all his shit documented for the record? I hope so. You don't if you're smart, you don't completely ignore what somebody who has worked for you for 10 years is coming in and saying, watch this and watch that. You need to put this together by yourself. Watch what's happening and put it together on your own. And allow a perfect stranger to come in here and bullshit you to your face. And you just let him do it. Same thing with my family. Same thing with my friends. And that is starting to be called into question. More and more and more and more. Okay, so I'm signing off. And remember, you need to fit in with a civilized society because that's where you live. If you don't like that, move somewhere where they don't have a civilized society. And go ape shit into your weirdo world, okay? Iraq or whatever. We don't put up with it. We have the Me Too movement now. We don't put up with the stuff that used to be put up with. I get that you guys have gotten away with this all your lives. But now we have the Me Too movement. Now we have things that people fighting human trafficking. Not this time. Not anymore. It's different now. You've seen it. We've shown you. And just act like you just don't get it.
Leave me alone. I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey, men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them, especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumb ass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. And you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.